Hey guys, Colbax here, and welcome to my new companion series I'm going to be doing alongside my regular playthrough series. These videos will basically give you a brief overview of each of the creatures and what they can do, and a basic idea on how to tame them. So, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Dodo. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, the Dodo doesn't have actually very many uses, but the few uses it does have are actually quite good. So, first thing, let's take a look at its stats. Now, this one that I tamed was a mid-level one. I believe it was level 80. But as you can see, even a mid-level Dodo here doesn't have very high stats, only 144 HP. And just overall, its stats are pretty low. So this is definitely a creature you don't want to bring into battle. What you're mainly going to be taming a Dodo for is actually its eggs. Now, only female Dodos lay eggs, so take that into consideration when taming a Dodo. The eggs restore a decent amount of food, and they also take a very long time to spoil. So here in this example, you can see my food's currently at 59. Once I eat the egg, it goes up to 79. 20 food's actually a pretty decent amount, especially considering your early game food probably consists of mainly just berries, which restore very little food. Another neat little thing you can do with Dodos, while not quite as useful, is that you can actually pick them up. And she just took a dump on me. Lovely. Now, picking them up actually comes quite handy, considering they run about as fast as a helpless toddler. It's worth noting that you can still ride other creatures while holding your Dodo. And as you saw earlier, Dodos poop quite often, so it makes them a nice, easy early game source of fertilizer. One last thing I thought would be worth mentioning is that they can actually be used as a living bomb. Without going into too much detail, it basically involves attaching C4 to your Dodo, and it basically has some really cool uses in PvP. So that's the Dodo in a nutshell. Now let's move on to the taming process. So the Dodo is your typical knockout tame. Now there's multiple ways to knock out a creature in Ark, ranging from trank arrows and trank darts to just your bare hands. But in this example, we're just going to use a good old-fashioned club. It does the same amount of torpor as your fist, but without the downside of causing damage to yourself. So once you've found your potential new friend, you'll want to gently start bonking them. Eventually, the Dodo will be knocked out, and you can start the feeding process. Now, Dodos are an herbivore, meaning you want to feed them either berries, crops, or kibble. In this example, I'm just going to be using some mayho berries, which tend to be a little bit more effective than regular berries. And as you see, once I put the berries in its inventory, the Dodo begins eating them, and the taming process begins. Now, as you can see towards the bottom of the screen, the Dodo's torpidity is actually slowly going down, meaning when it reaches 0, it'll wake back up. To prevent this, we need to feed it these black berries called narcoberries. Creatures do not eat these berries on their own, so you'll need to drag them over to its inventory and force feed them to them by hitting the E button on your keyboard. Once I do that, the Dodo's torpor starts to rise again. Maintaining the creature's torpidity while also making sure there's enough food in its inventory is key to taming most creatures in this game. To figure out how much food and how many narcotics you'll need to tame your Dodo, check out the very useful Dododex website. Simply search for the creature you're trying to tame, enter the creature's level, and the current taming rates your server uses. Select the food you're going to be using to tame your creature. It will tell you how much of that food you'll need to tame your creature. The website even tells you how long it will take to tame your creature, and if necessary, how many narcotics you'll need. It also tells you how many hits you'll need to inflict to knock out your creature, depending on the weapon you're using. The website has a lot of other useful information, so I'll leave a link in the description below so you can check it out yourself. So, going back to our Dodo tame, after giving it the correct amount of food and a little bit of time, our Dodo should be tamed. Success! We've tamed our Dodo. And that's it! Now you're a proud owner of a Dodo. If you found this video helpful, please remember to like and subscribe and comment below. And remember, if an idiot like me can tame a Dodo, you can too. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon page. You can get your name at the end of my video, or even get a tame named after you. Thanks again for the support, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. But really, subscribe to my channel, or my dog will eat you.